Hi. So I guess we're not doing individual intros, but I can introduce myself. I'm Mia Monet King, and I am from Seattle, Washington. I would first like to start off with thanks, especially for the class of 1966, the board, my wonderful parents who pushed me to do things I don't think I have the time, energy, or mental capacity to do, and all of my fellow agents of change. So like I said, I'm 18 years old, and I am a senior at Lakeside School in Seattle, Washington, and I will be attending Duke University as a Robertson Scholar in the fall. So Lakeside School is ranked as one of the top high schools in the country. It boasts high test scores, excellent resources, wonderful student support systems, and a predominantly white student population. When I began at Lakeside Middle School in 7th grade, there were only a handful of black girls in my grade, and we were often treated as if we were interchangeable. We stood out amongst my mostly Caucasian peers, but instead of distinguishing us, our blackness stripped us of much of our individuality in the eyes of our peers, faculty, and staff. We grew used to being called by the wrong name and accredited with the wrong achievements. And people do make mistakes, don't get me wrong, but as seniors this year, when we are still confused for each other, I'm sure that might still be the case, but in many cases, there is actually some implicit bias hiding just below the surface, which shows room to grow as a community. This was first exposed to me about halfway through my 7th grade year, when a librarian pulled me to the side after calling me once again by the wrong name. Apologetically, she explained that it was just so hard for her sometimes because she categorized all of the black girls together in her head. Hearing that gave me pause. Were we not distinguishable enough for her beyond our race? Did nothing distinguish us beyond our race? Did she not regard us as individuals? Excuse me. She delivered her speech with zero sense that what she was saying was incredibly offensive or disrespectful. And this experience was one of the many that inspired me to change my school for the better. Through various leadership roles, like being co-president of my Black Student Union, a member of my school's Leadership Institute, and a leader on my school's Diversity and Inclusion cohort, my mission has been to help establish and promote a positive self-identity that makes students feel less like token individuals in our community. I wanted no one to feel as compartmentalized as I did in that moment with my school librarian. But unfortunately, this very phenomenon is a reality for students of many different backgrounds. I knew that the first step in eradicating this issue is bringing awareness to it. Pushing back against those who labeled me as too aggressive, I gathered examples of microaggressions that my peers had experienced during their time on campus, and wrote an article for my school paper. My article called for a communal increase in all types of cultural awareness, and I took up the cry in person. I wanted my school to hold forums of discussion for issues not typically discussed within the neat lines of what was considered politic or polite. I began by bringing my concerns to the administration and using my own experiences as an archetype in discussion. Soon after, I sat down with my school's head of diversity at a small student panel and began to outline what I wanted these forums to look like. We have held several discussions so far this year, the first of their kind to be held on campus, and we'll soon be having another at the end of this month. So far, results have been mixed, but we are constantly adapting our strategy before we implement it again. I know that this program will continue to help educate the community on the nuances that might separate them from their neighbors and how those differences aren't necessarily defining qualities. My driving force has been a belief that the committee can act as a liaison between what people believe to be true and the truth that should be redefined by each and every individual they come into contact with. Thank you.